skip to main content. The sight of Jack Wilshere in full flow is always a thrilling one for Arsenal fans, and we were treated to another masterclass from him on Thursday night. The England international scored his first goal of the season against Bate Borisov and impressed with a dominant showing against the Belarusian champions. Arsene Wenger was delighted with how Wilshere performed and said he expects the midfielder to be challenging for a place in the Premier League now. You will see more of him because he had a little fracture before the start of the season, but now I would not even say he is coming back, he is back, the manager said. The next step is for him to be competitive in the Premier League and to fight for his place in the team. He will get games, he will get the opportunity to show that Jack Wilshere is back. I would say this is the most mature Wilshere I have seen, in the game and outside the game. He is not excessive, he has taken a distance from the pressure that was always around him. He is a special talent, and since he was 17 all the attention in the country was on him. He has gone through huge disappointments, but now he is a father and a happy father. You can see he thinks with a different perspective, and I personally feel this is the most mature, balanced Wilshere I have seen. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source. Arsene Wenger has revealed the latest team news ahead of Sunday's Premier League clash against Southampton. He has provided updates on Shkodran Mustafi and Theo Walcott, and this is what he said on Team News. The only one out at the moment is Mustafi. He is certainly not available for Sunday. There's a little chance of him coming back for West Ham, but he will not be available for Sunday, on being in the middle of December with only 2 players out. I believe that rotation allowed us to protect the players a little bit, and the players who didn't play in the Europa League haven't had to travel either, so that helped, on Theo Walcott's recovery from illness. He was alright after the game. He had a little tight calf and that's why I took him off. He looked alright after the game. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source. We return to Premier League duty on Sunday, when we visit Southampton in the Premier League, and you can follow the match live right here. Make sure you visit arsenal.com for the following matchday show, with live build-up from 11:30 AM UK time and audio commentary from midday UK time, live text commentary featuring minute-by-minute updates and insights from our fans on Twitter, a short goals clip, extended highlights and a full match replay will be available from midnight on Sunday. It's all free with digital membership, and remember, you can listen on the Arsenal app too. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source. Mathieu Debuchy crowned a convincing performance with a fine opening goal in our 60 win over Bate Borisov on Thursday night. After an encouraging start to life in North London, the France international has seen first-team opportunities curtailed in recent years, largely due to a string of injuries. Arsene Wenger is impressed with the way in which Debuchy has handled those disappointments and is pleased to see the 32-year-old impressing on the pitch again, on Debuchy's resurgence. Yes, because he's mentally strong. I've said many times in this job you can never give up, no matter what happens for you, and always be ready in case you're needed. Not many can do that, but Mathieu can do that. On whether Debuchy has a genuine future. He is under contract. That's down to his performances now, and I opened the door for him many times because he didn't play and because he has Bellerin in front of him. We have as well Ainsley now who can play right and left, but I consider him like anybody else, and I must say I have a huge respect for his professional side and how much he did fight to come back to the top. He's a tough guy. Tough worker. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source. We kick off at Southampton on Sunday, roughly 62 hours after the final whistle was blown against Bate Borisov. Our December schedule is pretty packed. Thursday's win was the second of 9 matches we'll play over the course of the month. What does Arsene Wenger make of that on kicking off at midday against Southampton? Yes, but we had that last week. I have nothing against the fact that we have to do that, as long as our opponents have the same recovery days. That was not the case last week and will not be the case again. Between 3 days and 5 days is a big gap on the recovery side. If we have to play every day, I don't mind as long as our opponents do as well. On if HES spoken to the Premier League, no, but I think there is a job there to respect the fairness of the competition. If you look at it, I think many teams don't fight on an equal front on the recovery side, on if he feels a disadvantage. What I would like is that the teams who have tight schedules are faced with the same problems. I don't mind. I can understand what we have to play all the games. You just want to play teams with the same problems as you, on if he has to pick team up given performance v Man United. It was a difficult defeat to take. In football, when you should win the game, you want to take the points. All the numbers went for us and the result went against us. That is always difficult to accept, but we have to go into the next game and respond straight away again, on refusing to rule out the title. I just said that at the moment we have different worries than the title. After such disappointment, you have to think about winning the next game. We are too far from the title at the moment to speak about the title. It's not realistic. Let's try to win our next game and over a longer distance see if we can come back. On if anyone can stop Man City, Shakhtar Donetsk, Man United have an opportunity on Sunday. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com. As the source, we've played away at Southampton 18 times in the Premier League era and we've scored some pretty special goals in that time. Remember Alexis Sole effort last season, and what about Dennis Bergkamp's run and finish at Thierry Henry's curler? Watch 5 of our best goals at Sunday's opponents above and then vote below. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source. Sunday's visit to Southampton will be particularly special for Callum Chambers. Our defender came through the youth system at the South Coast side before establishing himself as an important first-team player at St Mary's. This weekend's opposition are famed for the young players they have developed in recent years. When Callum was in the academy, it was Gareth Bale and Theo Walcott that particularly stood out. At the time they were our inspiration, we looked up to them, Chambers told Arsenal player. I remember doing a Christmas special training session. I was very young at the time and we trained with their age group. That was pretty special for us, training against them. You look up to them, you want to be like them and break into the first team. I had some great times there, met some amazing people and have some close friends who I still keep in touch with now. I think growing up in the environment we grew up in, at the time we were a championship club and we aspired to be in the Premier League. We pushed ourselves for that. They keep you very grounded there as well. Your education's really important. They make you do jobs like cleaning boots. You get designated a first-team player and have to clean their boots every day. You want to work hard and I think it makes everyone have that drive. There's also a clear pathway there. With the players that came through before us, the ones older than me, there was Chambo and Theo, and obviously Gareth Bale as well. You could see there was a clear pathway from the academy to the first team. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source. We are back in Premier League action on Sunday when we travel to St Mary's Stadium to take on Southampton. Ahead of the game, tactical expert Michael Cox and former gunner Adrian Clark examine our opponents in detail. The manager former Argentine international Mauricio Pellegrino has coached both Estudiantes and Independiente in his homeland, plus Valencia and Alaves in Spain, where he spent much of his playing career. He particularly impressed in his sole season with Alaves, taking the club to the Copa del Rey final and the top half of La Liga. Formation There was a brief experiment with a 5-man defense in an unfortunate 21 defeat to Manchester City, but Pellegrino has basically been a 4,231 man this season. The recent form of Charlie Austin has been a huge bonus. HES scored 3 goals in 2 starts, a welcome return with Shane Long and Manolo Gabbiadini struggling for goals. Strengths Southampton are well organised and strong in midfield. Oriol Romeu sits deep and controls the game, allowing Stephen Davis to scamper forward into attack, and Mario Lemina to demonstrate his all-round technical quality. Dangermanmc Dusan Tadic can drift in and out of matches, but when on form HES often superb, bamboozling opponents with his dribbling. feinting to go inside then going down the outside before crossing. He's often been fielded in a number 10 role this season, where his through balls are more obvious. Sofiane Boufal is a player of real ability. At this stage of his career, he's a 1 in 10 kind of guy in terms of producing that man of the match display. Hopefully that won't come against us, but he's certainly got the ability, areas to target. Goalkeeper Fraser Forster has often played excellently against Arsenal and is superb at close-range reaction stops, but seems less comfortable against long-range efforts. Forster has had 2 good games on the spin because he was decent against Manchester City and Bournemouth last time out. Maybe he's coming into form, but I just don't think he is going to replicate the form he showed a few years ago. Hit your shots low and early. Copyright 2017 The Arsenal Football Club plc. Permission to use quotations from this article is granted subject to appropriate credit being given to www.arsenal.com as the source.